And so, Ikhwan, as we mentioned, one can observe with the changing and the rapid changing of that which is present around us, and with the possibility, Ikhwan, of this COVID-19 fitna bringing about a number of changes, Ikhwan, that will affect us all, that will affect the young and will affect the old. And there is no doubt, Ikhwan, that when the vaccine is established, we're going to see, Ikhwan, and we should prepare, that we're going to see a number of forms of legislation that are going to affect us, and the believer is going to have to decide what he will do. The believer is going to have to decide how he will act and how he will deal with these forms of legislation. Some of them, I'm sure, will become mandatory. And so it will soon, for example, I believe, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best, become mandatory to have the vaccination before you travel, to have the vaccination before you receive any benefits, to have the vaccination before you are able, for example, to be seen in a hospital or by your doctor. And these are possibilities. If this occurs, and if it is as we are hearing, that there is going to be a chip that they intend to inject into individuals, and this chip, Ikhwan, it is not necessarily, of course, Ikhwan, it is not something that is far-fetched. That we need to establish that you actually have received your vaccination and that you're not a threat to society. And you don't be surprised if we hear this type of talk when the vaccination is established. And so these are all things, Ikhwan, that we should prepare ourselves psychologically, we should prepare our families for, and we should consider, Ikhwan, what is it that we are going to do if this does occur. These are trials that we may possibly be facing and be looking at. And so how we're going to prepare ourselves for them. And so these ahadith, subhanallah, Ikhwan, we see that the Prophet ﷺ, he spoke of a time that will come that will be a time of trial and fitan. And it is possible, Ikhwan, that we may be looking at the door of the appearance of some of these trials. And the reality is, the sad reality is, Ikhwan, that these trials, Ikhwan, if they do occur, and if things do become we see the manifestation of what we have been hearing may occur, it is likely that this is going to be global. Yani, it is not just going to be something that is present here in the UK and possibly the US. It's not going to be manifest anywhere else. It is possibly going to be something global. And so it is likely that there will be very little or very few places that one can flee from these trials. And so it is imperative, Ikhwan, that we prepare ourselves for them.